In this episode, we are going to do something different, right? So we talk about tech and the economics behind tech. But I think what we felt was there are a lot of myths associated with tech, as far as we'll try to take the tech myths. And myths and superstitions are part of life, right? And it becomes ingrained and it gets codified, and suddenly you start believing it is true.
I have, of course, generously recommended to other people, though I've never used it myself because I'm very careless. So that is the one about wet phones, So the general thinking is, you drop it in a big canister of uncooked rice. In fact, iPhone's terms and conditions strictly forbids that, please do not put it in rice.
Wow. I didn't know that.
So, in fact, what they have found is that the starch and the husk and the dust in the rice can get into, the tray or the pot and spoil the phone. So, in fact, what is recommended is that, obviously, when it's wet, you kind of take it out and kind of dismantle it and kind of let airflow come, if possible, remove the tray and keep it close to some silica gel for 24, 48 hours. And after that, if nothing happens, then put it in rice if you think it's going to help. That rice myth is completely wrong.
So I think one of the things is that people need to understand that just because you're in incognito mode, it doesn't make you completely invisible. It's not like MI6 can't see you and all of that. Google has lost me. Nothing of the sort happens. It just makes your browser a little forgetful. But the internet still remembers. So I wish people would realize that, right?
In this one, I must say, I succumb to this, is clearing apps which are open on the phone. And I do it, right? People do it multiple times during the day. Many people, as a matter of fact, you're doing it a disservice, because when these apps are open, mostly the apps which will be open are the ones you use frequently, right? I mean, so the way it works is that the whole thing is in the background memory, and actually when you want to go back to it, it brings it in the foreground in a way, right? In a very simplistic term. Now, when you swipe it away, it has gone out of memory. So in a way, when you are clicking it, the whole thing is again being loaded in the memory. So it takes more compute, more memory, more power.
Give your modern batteries love, guys. It has to sit between 20% and 80%. That's their love language. Don't do this nonsense of discharge completely. That is good old days. So I thought that was another fun myth, because I know how many people have told me, "Arey, let it discharge before you charge it. Pura raat charge karoge. If you charge the phone the whole night, your phone's going to..." No, nothing happens. Even if you charge it overnight, like Samiran said, there is no overcharging the phone. The battery management system stops at 100%, guys. Just because you've charged
my battery is 200% charged.
200%. Nahi hota hai. And if you enjoy this myths episode, we have many more myths which we can bust. Write into us, tell us if you want us to bust more myths.
In this episode, we are going to do something different, right? So we talk about tech and the economics behind tech. But I think what we felt was there are a lot of myths associated with tech, as far as we'll try to take the tech myths. And myths and superstitions are part of life, right? And it becomes ingrained and it gets codified, and suddenly you start believing it is true. One of such superstitions, very famous, is I'll pick one Irish one, because probably it'll be something new. Is the Blarney Stone, and Blarney Stone is a stone in a old castle in Ireland, and it's the myth is kissing the stone. So you have to it's in a weird place, that stone. So it is in a parapet, embedded in a wall. So actually you have to really kneel into a hole and go down to actually kiss it. But when you kiss it, the thing that gives is also very strange. So kissing the Blarney Stone gives you gift of the gab. So I don't know whether it's required, especially for three podcasters. But kissing the stone is one of the superstition, and there is such a strong belief there was at one point of time. And you know that a lot of Irish community is in US. That one of the US presidents, I forget now who, he was ready to pay money to actually ship the Blarney Stone, move it to US. There was like a big deal going on that somehow we have to get Blarney Stone in US, as though the US people lack gift of the gab.
I have
So
a
here is
feeling, Nilesh, I have a feeling that in his last janam, Samiran had gone and kissed the stone.
It's just
No, my point is that if all the Irish are going and kissing it and getting the gift of the gab, is there a stone where you can kiss and get the gift of listening? Because everybody is talking, who is listening?
No, but Samiran, just to point out, it's quite difficult. You have to actually go backward, kneel into a hole, and somehow reach that stone. So when we were there, I'll tell you, when we were visiting there, so me, my wife, and my son visited that castle, and my wife was jumping. I am going to kiss the Blarney Stone. Me and my son, I'm not ready to kiss something which has been kissed by so many people. Sorry. After Corona, that's the last thing I'm doing.
The chances are that. So, see, this is the problem. I don't think the Irish have figured business the way Indians have. Because an Indian would have set up a stall outside and said, here's a little plastic covering, put that and then kiss the stone.
Or else, just like in some temples, they would have put a reflection of that in a mirror and say, you kiss it here, you can get little gift of the gab. So, reflection koi kar lo. Make it easy to kiss the stone, na? Because plastic se stone kaise bachega?
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. I agree.
Reflection.
It is actually difficult. Once you go there, you have to create a reflection would be easier. But on that kind of interesting superstition myth that we have in Ireland, let me start with one of the myths. And in this one, I must say, I succumb to this, is clearing apps which are open on the phone. And I do it, right? People do it multiple times during the day, many people, and I have been doing that for ages before I really understood it was a myth. That I thought my phone will slow down, my battery will drain if apps are open. So you'll open and then swipe them off and open afresh. So this is an absolute myth. I think Android and iPhones, and these are very complex, amazing machines, devices. They have cameras. There are so many functionality. You think they won't have memory management? So they have complex memory management and power management that you don't need to take it on yourself to clear these apps. As a matter of fact, you're doing it a disservice, because when these apps are open, mostly the apps which will be open are the ones you use frequently, right? I mean, so the way it works is that the whole thing is in the background memory, and actually when you want to go back to it, it brings it in the foreground in a way, right? In a very simplistic term. Now, when you swipe it away, it has gone out of memory. So in a way, when you are clicking it, the whole thing is again being loaded in the memory. So it takes more compute, more memory, more power, and actually you're doing a disservice by clearing apps which are open. So it's like that mentality, right? When you're trying to declutter your life and stuff like that. Here there is no need. And this was another thing that related one that comes to mind is when we started, all of us started when email was very, we have seen the technology change, right? So there was a limited mailbox size also. So we have this habit of deleting mails, keeping it, short and simple, and then comes Gmail, which gives you so much storage that even today, after so many years of usage, I am only probably at 10% of Gmail usage. I have not deleted any mail in Gmail. I don't clear anything. And you go the idea is to search in the mail rather than organize, declutter. No, just keep the mess. So that is how this myth has
No, in
been
fact, that
propagated. So
there was
no need
this
to clear. Yeah.
Superhuman was an app. They said that their stated goal was zero inbox. Basically, it manages so well that your inbox becomes zero. I said, why do you want inbox to be zero? I mean, I find it more difficult to find things in folders.
So I think these
Correct.
myths at some point in time now were real.
Were real.
Correct. The problem is tech is evolving. We are not. That's it. So we update our phones, but not the mental software. We are still living somewhere in the
I think that's
early
Google. I think
90s.
that's,
Yeah, that's
True.
all we're doing. So I came across this myth, and I know this is something I hear all the time, especially parents worried about their kids going into incognito mode, right? And saying, oh, if they go into incognito mode, how will we manage whatever? So I think one of the things is that people need to understand that just because you're in incognito mode, it doesn't make you completely invisible. It's not like MI6 can't see you and all of that. Google has lost me. Nothing of the sorts happens. It just makes your browser a little forgetful. But the internet still remembers. So I wish people would realize that, right? And so incognito mode only does three things. It doesn't save your browsing history locally. It doesn't save the cookies. And it doesn't autofill your embarrassing search history. Right? That's it. It's not like your boss won't know you made a job application just because you went into it.
it's only like you won't know the next time what you did. Everybody else will know.
Yeah. That's a good one.
So it's quite funny. So it's like, very often people say, oh, I searched for a gift for my girlfriend or whatever. Dude, the next time it pops up saying looking for diamonds, there will be a problem. So that's on incognito mode.
So the one I found is, I think we have recommended this. I have, of course, generously recommended to other people, though I've never used it myself because I'm very careless. So that is the one about wet phones, So the general thinking is, you drop it in a big canister of uncooked rice. So the thinking is that the moisture will be absorbed by the uncooked rice. So studies have shown, nothing could be further from the truth than that. Okay. In fact, they have found that, of course, silica gel is more efficient. Cat litter is more efficient. And couscous or just doing nothing is more efficient than putting it in uncooked rice. In fact, iPhone's terms and conditions strictly forbids that, please do not put it in rice.
Wow. I didn't know that.
So, in fact, what they have found is that the starch and the husk and the dust in the rice can get into, the tray or the pot and spoil the phone. So, in fact, what is recommended is that, obviously, when it's wet, you kind of take it out and kind of dismantle it and kind of let airflow come, if possible, remove the tray and keep it close to some silica gel for 24, 48 hours. And after that, if nothing happens, then put it in rice if you think it's going to help. But that rice myth is completely wrong. That might be, I think in our previous episode, we talked about rice, I think. So maybe this was one of the uses why people are using it. But that dipping in rice is completely wrong.
My God.
But cat litter?
Seriously. You have
How is that?
Really?
Yeah, but first you have to have a cat, then you have to have litter. It's far.
Why would anybody put their phone in cat litter? But anyway.
Just extreme testing conditions.
Okay.
Extreme testing. Okay. So let me...
Guys, please don't search for this even in the incognito mode.
And if you search, we'll know you have heard our episode.
So let me pick another myth. And this is like that 5G will kill you times, right? 5G has to be the most dangerous thing, the kind of waves that you will get and all that stuff. So it's all it's a myth. I think when you think of right from the radio days, right? FM, AM. When you look at the radio, the transmission, the frequency, wavelength, these are all non-ionizing rays, is what they are called, right? And ionizing waves are the one which you need to be aware of, which is your X-rays or gamma radiations and those kind of radiations. So these are non-ionizing. The second thing is that the technology itself. So think of FM, right? FM. Every city has its own FM because FM is transmitted at a lower power, so it has a limited area of
Range.
dissipation. Right? If you go ahead, you can't catch FM. Similarly, mobile. I mean, these 5G towers, the power is low, so the radiation cannot be extremely strong. Firstly, it is non-ionizing and it can't be strong. So obviously, it will not. There are mobile towers, and you jump cell to cell. It's even smaller than a FM's, ambit kind of. So all these radiations are completely harmless, and we don't need to be up in the arms against these radiations.
चलो सब society को भेज दो because now they'll allow for the towers to go up on their societies.
Towers to come up. Yeah. True. Very true.
I mean, Jio should be paying us for this episode
Yeah.
for busting this myth.
You want to go next?
You go.
So when you buy a phone, you kind of get a certain type of charger, right? And typically, what we'll end up doing is we want to buy a fast charger, which is of a higher wattage, right? But the myth is that the higher wattage charger will spoil the phone because it will push more power into the phone and blow it up or something like that. But again, completely untrue, because the way modern charging protocols work, basically the receiving device controls how much it receives. So if it is a 10 watt port and there's a 100 watt charging, then only 10 watt will flow through. The balance 90 will just go somewhere else, but not here. And that is also true of USB chargers. And that is the reason why USB charging is possible across multiple devices. So you can charge any device with a USB because the receiving point controls how much power flows through. So this big myth that, if I have a very powerful charger and I will blow up my phone because I use it, is completely untrue.
So related to that, I have one fun myth, right? Everybody talks about you need to fully drain your battery before recharging. Big one, right? And I just feel like, and I don't know why this time I'm talking about a lot of parenting stuff. I think I'm going through some parenting issues, I think. But I think we are parenting lithium-ion batteries from the days of 2005 and before, right? Because this myth came from the nickel-cadmium batteries, which suffered from something called the memory effect. And guys, if you haven't listened to our episode on batteries, go listen to it because we've done a lot of this on that one. So remember in the Nokia feature phones day, partial charging was it was not recommended, it was not effective, etc. But modern phones, which are lithium-ion batteries, actually are absolutely fine because it doesn't affect the memory effect. It does not affect the age based on charge cycles. In fact, these lithium-ion batteries are actually stressed by either deep discharge or full 100% heat, right? So they actually go through stress if you discharge them completely. So when your phone hits 1% and dies dramatically, that's not good discipline. You have to keep it between. So give your modern batteries love, guys. It has to sit between 20% and 80%. That's their love language. Don't do this nonsense of discharge completely. That is good old days. So I thought that was another fun myth because I know how many people have told me, "Arey, let it discharge before you charge it. Pura raat charge karoge. If you charge the phone the whole night, your phone's going to..." No, nothing happens. Even if you charge it overnight, like Samiran said, there is no overcharging the phone. The battery management system stops at 100%, guys. Just because you've charged
my battery is 200% charged.
200%. Nahi hota hai. There is no overcharging.
But my big takeaway from this was the love language of batteries. I thought that sounded very romantic. I think we can do with something with that.
Now, I didn't want to go into the
No,
chemistry of anode and cathode and all of that. which in our battery episode, Nilesh has covered considerably, the love between anode and cathode.
No, and this myth, maybe it will never land up, but this 10 to 80%, it holds so true for all modern
Devices,
cells,
yeah.
batteries, is that even electric vehicle charging, there is this, kind of sweet
Correct.
spot. And like Samiran said, vehicle chargers of, come from different wattages. That doesn't mean it'll blow up your car. Some of them might be at very high wattage while
Correct.
your car is at a lower. So yeah, it's the same concept.
So you have to
So-
give
so
love to your batteries.
10 to 80% holds true, but yes. so let me move to another myth, and this one I knew partially, like the previous ones. I mean, even I succumbed to the cleaning of apps on the phone. But this one I knew partially, is that we think that when you delete a file, it is gone forever, right? You're safe now. You're deleted something, but that's a complete myth. It is not gone at all. Because what happens is that in your hard drive, the when you look at a file name or the point, it's just a pointer to a location on the disk, right, on your hard drive. It's a pointer, and when you delete, you're just deleting the arrow that points that this is where this file is, right? So that arrow is gone. The file is sitting there. Now the only thing that happens is the operating system marks that area as available. So the only way it randomly may get lost because it is overwritten.
Correct.
If it is not overwritten, the file is available. So if you delete something by even do permanently delete, like it is still there. You take it to a recovery device, any shop, and they can find if it has not been overwritten. And just to so what should one do? I mean, kind of, do you need, you need a solution to it. The only solution is that a encryption of the whole drive, and modern laptops come with it, right? So in encryption, now what happens is that since the data is encrypted, the encryption key gets deleted with the pointer. So now the data is still there, but it cannot be read. I mean, it's obfuscated beyond, So essentially, nothing gets deleted. Is what reality is. Encryption of your drives is a good way. SSDs are the worst, it seems. So definitely, if you're using SSD, use an encryption software on top of the SSD, because SSD don't even they just move the file, the file block. Yeah, so it's there. It has just moved, kind of. It's even
The other way of destroying it is you can drop it in a canister of rice. That will just
that will work. The rice comes to rescue.
Correct.
Many uses of life.
Correct.
So the one I have is, I won't call it technical, but this is the reason I'm saying it is because it's been the long-standing war in software development is that whether programming, formatting, the tabs versus spaces, and in fact, the reason I'm saying it is because in the HBO serial Silicon Valley, it kind of caused a breakup in a relationship because they were fighting over tabs and white spaces. That is basically about how you write code. Anyway, the simple answer is that it doesn't matter. Basically, it's just a formatting nuance. And the only thing that software development asks you to do is be consistent. Don't mix it up. Basically, don't have tabs and spaces. Follow a systematic logic and kind of get an editor that reads it. So that's the simple technical reason. But apparently, this is thing that is debated ad nauseum, that you should use tabs, you should use spaces. And while you may not have coded, but if you see any code, it's kind of has some weird indentation like that and all, and you feel that's part of some deep technical design. It's nothing. It has no reason at all.
I think it is OCD of people.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Basically, it is somebody who didn't know what to do. He just kept pressing tab. He said, "Oh, I remember." Now he started coding. That is all it is.
Or I think it was a way of some developers of tabbing or not tabbing to confuse the reviewers, because now there were times when code was reviewed by a human, right? So you did the coding and then code reviewing happened just to check, and probably the reviewer would be thrown completely off balance with sometimes tabs coming in, sometimes tabs not.
So that I think is only a tech guy's problem, not somebody like me who
Yep.
doesn't even understand a word of code. So that was a very technical one from Samiran, which is most expected.
More unexpected.
I have a very, very consumer friendly one. It says HTTPS means it's a safe website. No, guys, it isn't. So I remember years ago, we were writing for a company and they said, oh, you must write talking. They were teaching people that one of the ways to protect yourself from phishing is to check the HTTPS to see whether there is a lock icon or not. And I don't know if you have realized it, but over the last couple of years, Chrome has dropped the lock icon. Okay. It has a neutral tune icon now. So you can sing and dance to the tune icon. There is no lock. So if you're searching and you're panicking because you can't see the lock, the moral certificate of the internet is gone. It doesn't exist. So HTTPS really, and this I learned as I was reading more and more into this, is that the connection between your browser and the web server is encrypted. That's it. Okay, that does not mean that the guy on the other side is legit. So if you think that if you saw the lock icon and you saw HTTPS and you think, oh, ICICI Bank is legit. No, it isn't legit, guys. Anybody today can buy an SSL certificate. In fact, to some extent, what I was shocked to hear is that you can get a SSL certificate for free, right? On platforms like Let's Encrypt. So you can buy a domain and the SSL certificate is free. So phishing site which is impersonating your bank can easily put a HTTPS over there and do all of the secure shit and you'll still get gypped. So be careful. And therefore the only thing to keep yourself safe is actually check the domain name, see if there is an error over there, there is something. Don't look only for the padlock because the padlock doesn't exist. Be careful about the emails and messages you get. Make sure that you use a password manager which will not auto-fill when you're doing things, and basically remain skeptical.
Nice.
Because if you're not skeptical, dude, phishing can happen. So ye HTTPS, padlock nahi hone wala hai. Just be skeptical. Just don't trust. That's it.
Just don't trust. This sounds like X-Files now. Don't trust anyone.
Seriously, but that's so true. Imagine all of us used to be taught कि अगर lock है तो safe है. नहीं है. So I feel very bad. We wrote for somebody saying lock hai to safe hai. We should go back and tell them change it.
It's true. No, very true. But the fact is, it is one of the things, as you correctly mentioned, having the correct URL is extremely important. So there are multiple steps. One of them is this, but it has become so commodity now that anyone can easily do it. That's the core.
So I'll have to go back to my pet theory about locks. That your lock is only so that you can force the thief to go to the next house. It doesn't stop.
But so one of the interesting things about this HTTPS thing is, so it happened to one of my websites, right? We had not taken the SSL certificate. It had expired and we hadn't renewed it. And it was only a matter of 1 month that it had not been renewed. And our site was actually, if you typed our website, it went to in some university website. And I don't even know if the university was real or fake. And I kept saying, what happened 1 month? And what happens is that the guys who are looking for things like this, because your SSL certificate is not there, they can actually take it and push it somewhere else, right? So having SSL certificate is great. It's one way to not allow hackers to get into it and, kind of push your site somewhere else. But it's not the only way. And therefore, phishing sites can still happen with an SSL
So I'll
certificate.
give you
is all
another
I'm saying.
counterintuitive point to this. So putting a lock actually tells people that there is something valuable there. So they'll come after you only.
Not in the online world yet, Samiran.
See, don't trust.
Website
You
pe
said
kya
don't
hai?
trust.
That's true. Don't trust. So put the SSL for your personal site so that nobody else hacks into it, or
Correct,
for your other, if you're doing whatever on your own name. But it's not the only way to protect yourself, is all I'm going to say.
I'll give you a quick one. So this is again back from technical. So the big thing is that whenever we look at a phone, we look at the bars, and we said, oh, I have 4 bars, very good, good data and all that. I have 1 bar, it is very bad. Actually, the bars have got nothing to do with speed. All the bar actually tells you is that the connection between your phone and the nearest cell tower, and that you have a valid connection. It doesn't tell you anything about the speed, because the speed is completely dependent on other things. So the analogy there is that the signal bars is like that, is telling you that there is a road connecting where you are to the highway. There is a path, but it does not tell you that the highway is empty. It's got no cars. It's this thing. So speed has got nothing to do with bars, and that is why sometimes you find that even on 5G, even if you have 1 or 2 bars, speed is there. But as opposed to 4G, sometimes when you have, it has got to do with congestion and a lot of other things. So bars is not about speed. It is just about connectivity to your nearest level. So you're connected, but no speed guarantees. So that is the thing about bars, mobile bars as opposed to other bars.
Yeah. Never mind. So, these are some of the myths that we've covered. And if you enjoy this myths episode, we have many more myths which we can bust.
Yeah.
Write into us, tell us if you want us to bust more myths. And we hope that you're able to now separate privacy from paranoia, security from symbolism, and science from emotional traumas.
And trust no one.
And remember, trust no one. Especially not your WhatsApp university friends who send these myths to you. So, with that, thank you for listening in, and catch you on another episode.